everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, July 7th, 2024. I knew this Connor story was missing something, but you see, I just couldn't put my finger on what it was, and now I know. Hot and naughty grief sex. That's what was missing all along. In fact, hot and naughty affair grief sex, while the significant others are back in Genoa City talking about how bad they feel for Adam and Chelsea, and oh boy, aren't they lucky to have us. Hey, do you think that we should, I don't know, hop on the jet right now and just go see them? They're probably sitting in the hotel room watching TV, eating takeout or something. Let's go see them. Comfort them in their time of need. Flash to the beads of sweat on the banging of flesh. Thank you, Y&R, for bringing this story down to my level. Oh, Lordy. Even if I hadn't seen the previews that we saw last week, as soon as Adam showed up at the door with the bottle of bourbon, I knew that trouble was afoot. Grief plus alcohol never equals anything good. Just ask Nikki and Jack. But the thing is, it all started out so friendly, as drinking always does, right? They were laughing. They were remembering the good times. Connor's turkey turtle or turtle turkey. It was good. But then the depression wave rolls in and washes away all of the smiles and all of the laughter. And now Chelsea is crying, thinking about how much she just wanted a better life for her son, and how she thought that if she just did all the mom things and created all the photo-worthy moments, that in the end it would all turn out just fine and her son would be happy. And it just didn't work out that way. So Chelsea's destroyed and drunk, and Adam sees that Chelsea is hurting and he's hurting too, and they both just want to fix it. They both just want to fix it fast and make the hurt go away. And so they both just simultaneously decide to escape into something that feels good. Even if just for a moment it feels good. And that is so totally human to me. And so that is something that I can finally relate to here. But what now? Adam and Chelsea both immediately realized that they had made a mistake. But I mean, you gotta keep that secret, right? That's a secret you gotta keep. You can't go back blabbing it to Sally and Billy. No. You can't go around being honest. Just for the sake of honesty. No. Gotta zip that one up into the vault. Secrets like that go to the vault. And they never, ever come out. Right? Chelsea and Adam got smashed on bourbon this week, while Claire took a teeny tiny weeny beany little sip of champagne, and she didn't really like it. She's more of a tea sipper. She prefers more of that, the English breakfast tea that Cole was serving early in the week. Oh, you know what? I can agree with a lot of you that Y&R is probably going overboard in making Claire's character so sticky sweet right now. But at the same time, I like her better now. I think it took a lot of guts for her to say, you know what? I don't drink, and I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but if we're going to be going out, you know, for drinks together, Kyle, sir, suitor, then you might as well get my drink order right. I liked that. I think Claire is quite a lady. She's becoming more and more of a lady, while Kyle is becoming more and more of a bad boy. But I have to say, I'm kind of loving this dark Kyle, because I just think he's way, way more interesting, and Michael Mealor is killing it here with all of his smug smiles and his villainous one-liners and that body language, and the way he's just throwing salt in Jack and Diane's faces left and right. It's been riveting. It's been opinion forming, and I like that. That's what I'm in for. And it seems like he's having a good time with it, you know? Kyle was unceremoniously kicked out of the family company, hired by Dad's worst enemy. He's moving out of the Abbott mansion now, and he's just really rubbing all of it in everyone's face. The disdain that he has for Diane is just particularly wicked, though. And Kyle actually told Jack this week that, oh, you want to make this better? Okay, well, I'll change my mind and I'll stay at Jabot if you demote Diane and give me her co-CEO job. I thought that was a very dramatic moment, and it even left Diane wondering if Jack was considering it. Of course, Jack said that he wasn't considering it, but I think that for a split moment, Jack was hoping that Diane would offer to step down, that Diane would take this bait and step down, let Kyle have the position, and maybe then poof, all of this would just go away. But then Kyle just started acting so bratty, and Jack told him, no, Kyle, I am not going to be manipulated by you. Well, if manipulation is the name of the game, and that's the game that Kyle wants to play, then it's going to work out real well for him working for Victor Newman. This is totally reigniting the feud between Victor and Jack. They've been peaceful for years at this point, but it is really starting to ratchet up. How great was it to see Jack walk into Victor's office again in a rage? It's been a really long time since we've seen that. And yet somehow it felt like it was just yesterday. It felt completely natural. Jack just barged right on into Victor's office and said, stay away from Kyle. And there's going to be more of that next week, we saw in the previews. Oh, so good. It's funny to me that Jack and Diane really were not close to putting together the pieces on their own that Kyle was working for and with Victor, except that Michael pretty much gave them the puzzle. I was shocked at how easily Michael told Diane that Victor had asked him to befriend her and for Cole to befriend Kyle. Michael just sailed Victor down the river on that one, and I was puzzled. I thought it was funny, and I was also kind of impressed. Like, hey, way to go, Michael. You know, Michael doesn't have to play by Victor's rules. And on top of it, I think that Michael doesn't want to be caught in the middle of yet another Jack and Victor feud. So I'm sure that Michael was hoping that Diane would be able to take this information and find a way to stop it. But I have a feeling that Victor's going to end up tracing this back to Michael, because Victor later questioned Kyle about how Jack found out that they were working together, and Victor gave Kyle a pretty good lecture about loyalty. Giving a lecture to Kyle about loyalty when Kyle's being disloyal to his own family, it's just, all right, okay. But Kyle seemed to be able to save face, and Victor seemed to believe that Kyle didn't say anything to Jack. But Victor also didn't seem to like Claire and Kyle being together. It was interesting the way he looked back through the window, and we had that great shot of his face seeing that Kyle and Claire are becoming close. And I think he doesn't like it, but I think he knows that he needs to keep Kyle close for now, anyway. And Kyle almost doesn't seem to mind that he is a part of Victor's revenge plan against Jack. He seems to know it and not mind it. So I guess that Kyle just accepts that it's a shared goal. They both seem to have a revenge plan in mind. But I don't know exactly why it doesn't occur to Kyle that Victor could just toss him aside at any moment for any reason. And then where is all of his smug indignance going to be? He's going to look like a fool. I don't know. Kyle, I think the reason why I like this very much is that it does remind me of a young Jack. Although I will say, even Jack at his most smug, you always knew where his loyalty was. His loyalty was always to his father. I mean, even when he messed up, it was in trying to do something to help Jabo, to help his father. Kyle is just blatantly turning his back on the family. And I don't know, it's almost a touch dark for me. I like the idea of Kyle working against Jack and Diane, but I almost just kind of wish that Kyle would have gotten a job being a Chippendales dancer or a model, a nude model or something. I wish he would have decided to just embarrass the family instead, rather than needing to crush the family company. It's like when Victoria posed nude for the centerfold. I kind of wish Kyle would have gone for something a little more like that. I guess personally that's how I like my revenge. Nude. Kyle doing like a Playgirl photo shoot. Wouldn't that really give Summer something to rail against? It'd probably be a better excuse. Because I don't fully see what Summer's getting so uptight about all of a sudden. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, Summer seemed to understand why Kyle was fed up with Diane. In fact, she was like, okay, finally you're coming around to my opinion of her. And now Summer's just got herself all worked up about Kyle's life decisions, as if they are putting Harrison in some danger. Why? I mean, what's so bad that Kyle has exactly done that puts Harrison in danger? He's having the nerve to move out of the family home. Okay, which I can understand her not wanting to have heard it from Diane, but he's deciding to move out of the family home. Doesn't seem like that big of a deal. All he's doing is getting his own place so that he can take Claire's virginity, just like he took Lola's. Woo! I think we just realized that Kyle has a type. I think that's that's what Kyle goes for. The virginal type. Yeah. I think Summer should be happy that Kyle has decided to move on with his life. And instead, she's kind of mad at him for daring to make changes, you know? I mean, when really I think we know that Summer is just feeling threatened by these changes. And threatened by Audra, too, apparently. She saw Kyle working with Audra, and who cares? Who really cares? What has Audra done lately to make Summer think that she's such a bad influence? I mean, would I want Audra playing mommy to my son? Probably not. But that is one of the concessions of divorce. You have to accept that the other person will move on and you have no influence over it anymore. Besides, Audra's already slept with Kyle. It's old. He's old news. She's moving on to new news. Nate. Place your bets, people. How long will it be before Audra and Nate sleep together? She's like, I'm not going to invite you up to my room tonight. But really, how much longer will it be? It's got to be soon. Audra's been single for like 2 weeks now. 2 whole weeks. Tucker's body isn't even cold in the ground and she's already moved on. Okay, I know that Tucker's not dead. I realize that. But he is out of sight and out of mind. And that is actually worse than being dead when you're in Soapland. Because when you're dead, at least we know you're coming back. Jill must be so furious with Billy right now. She brought him into the company. She gave him her proxy. And then he voted against her wishes and has essentially dismantled her company. She brought him in and 3 weeks later, the company is dismantled. It feels like such wasted energy. And I guess that's just how I feel about this whole storyline. It feels like wasted energy. So what happens now? Devon goes back to running his own company with Nate by his side. And Billy runs Abbott Chancellor with Chance by his side. I mean, the Chance part's good. Chance said this week that he was offered to be Billy's COO, I think it was. But even so, Billy and Chance, there'll be only 2 employees there, 2 employees at Winters, because who knows what side Lily is going to choose. I really don't even know what side Lily is on. I don't even know if she knows what side she's on anymore. It's all just a big nothing burger to me. The only question that I'm interested to know is, are they all going to continue to work out of the same office set? Oh yeah, and then there's Abby. Will Abby choose to work for the Winters company because Devon's there, her boyfriend? Or will she choose to work for Abbott Chancellor, where she has more of a family connection? I don't know. Abby pulled back from her work at Society just to be on the board at Chancellor-Winters, only now 2 months later to vote to dismantle Chancellor-Winters. Blah! Far more interesting, Abby showed up in Paris this week to let Traci know how disappointed she was that she has been left out of everything that happened with Ashley. But Abby got to visit her mom off screen. Everyone's getting to visit Ashley off screen. But Abby did get a chance to see a little bit of the on-screen chemistry between Traci and Allan. Aww. this is so cool. And I am really happy about all of this. I was having kind of a bad, yucky feeling day. And then Traci and Allan came on my screen, and I have to admit, my heart fluttered. And I lost myself a little bit. I was very like grump, grump, grump. And then I just sort of like got pulled into their love story. And suddenly I just found myself in it and there. I think that Traci is such an angel, and she deserves someone who will worship her. And I think Allan is doing a good job right out the gate. I love that he went out and bought a copy of her book, Echoes from the Past, or is it of the past? I can't remember. Either way, that's an A+ for him. Plus, he brought her a gift. He got her a beautiful silk scarf that she had admired in a store window, and that tells me that he is observant. And he listens to her, and he appreciates her. Damn! I mean, who could ask for anything more? This is perfect. And when he kissed her, you know, she seemed so surprised. I think that Traci is really caught off guard by the fact that all of this is happening, because she's used to writing romance stories, not being involved in one herself, and certainly not right in the midst of this tragedy that her sister has gone through. I mean, what's happening to her right now is something out of a novel. And who knows, maybe it will end up being the topic for her next novel. "I'm not a toddler," said Adam to Chelsea last week. How dare she? She was trying to get him to eat a little sandwich, and he said, I'm not a toddler." Right there, we should have known what was going to happen. Oh my goodness, lots of people guessed that that was Adam. So congratulations to Tanya, Wonderful Wendy, Hannah, Daisy, Gary, Kayla Rose, Justin, Juanita, Sheila, Dolores, Henry, Ron, Brittany, Kathy, Paris, and Kamna. I like that one. This one's going to be tough. I'm telling you right now. This is a tough one, but listen up. Maybe you caught it. Revenge is never worth it. Who would say that? Knowing that it's not true. Go to yrchat.com and let me know if you know who said revenge is never worth it. And if you do get it right and surprise me, then I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. And now let's dig into some comments, starting with Gary, who says, "I'm not given to grand pronouncements, but I have to proclaim soap's entertainment is the highest art form. They don't need to take a week off because it's 4th of July, Memorial Day, or anything else. They just keep rolling along, producing day after day, week after week, year after year. I sure hope, given contemporary culture, that they don't decide to start taking the summer off." You know, Gary, I really thought for sure there would be no episode on July 4th, because I went to go watch the episode at Paramount Plus, and I completely expected to load the page and there would be nothing. But no, I mean, you're right. It's amazing that soaps are actually airing on every holiday now. I mean, they don't take any time off at all. It's an incredible pace that they film at, and boy, aren't we lucky. So let's just take a moment to appreciate that, I mean, man, it is like nothing's 24/7 anymore. I mean, convenience stores aren't even 24/7. The stores around here, especially after COVID, like everything closes at 8. So there's no more 24-hour society, but soaps are that last vestige of like, it's every single day. You can get that soap once a day, 24/7 on demand. Is the 7-Eleven even open? 7-Eleven anymore? Y&R 7-Eleven. No, Y&R 24/7. Okay, Sue W. says, I love that Allan and Traci met and connected in a chill, organic way. A friend and a sibling connected in a mutual concern. Not a meet cute like Kyle and Lola. Not a lust connection like Audra and anybody. Not a loneliness grab like Sally and Nick. And not a heck, we just haven't slept together yet, like most members of Genoa City families and other families. Fingers crossed that Traci and Allan are a forever love match. Yeah, it is chill and organic and like, hey, we just crossed paths and had conversation and realized that we like each other. It doesn't have to be cute out of cutesiness. It doesn't have to be about loneliness. It doesn't have to be about lust. It doesn't have to be about convenience. It's just, hey, we're two people who like each other. We like spending time together. It's just like their paths have crossed. They're in the same place at the same time. A lot of relationships are timing. I mean, you could meet somebody who, that you fall in love with today, but the 6 months ago you would not have thought of this person, or any other number of combinations. Like, timing is everything, and the timing seems to be there for Allan and Traci too. Daisy says, I love seeing Traci with Allan. I hope they end up in a relationship. One question though, Allan, is he really Allan, or did Martin pull a fast one and is now doing a study on wooing Traci? If this is Martin, Traci is in dangerous company. I hope that this is Allan though, because you never know. For now, at least. Yeah, I know. That's always going to be in the back of our minds, isn't it? And Sue W. says, well, it would be a good story if the love of a good woman redeemed or even cured, not really Allan, but dead Martin. Yes, I know mental illness can't be cured, but it's a soap, so even Martin could become not that person anymore in the glow of Traci's halo. That's my favorite comment of the week, Sue W. Because when you put it that way, it's like, that would be a pretty darn good twist. Because I really don't think that Allan is Martin. I don't think that's how it's being played. That's not the impression that I'm getting. But when you put it that way, it almost kind of makes me want to be that twist. Because then it would be like, oh, he is evil, but somehow, yeah, like you said, Traci's halo just shined off on him and made him not that person anymore. Henry says, a few chatters seem to believe that Allan is really Martin. I just beg to differ. I get it that usually in soap world, when there's a twin, there's probably a twist. But in this case, I just don't see how it could have happened. The writers would really have to be super creative to twist that storyline to resurrect Martin. Yeah, and I agree with you, Henry. I don't feel like it's that. But I think they could absolutely make it that if they decided to. Connie says, I'm not sure that Allan is Martin, but I have doubts that Martin is deceased. The body was never identified, claimed, or buried, and this leaves an opening for a twist, and time will tell. Until then, I am glad that Traci has a love story beginning in Paris and a chance for her to have more screen time, because she is a delightful character with such a good heart, and I adore her. I adore her too. I was just staring at her on the day I was having a bad day, watching Traci and Allan just not feeling well. I just was looking at her and I'm like, I just love her. I just love her. She radiates beauty. It's so interesting that, all those years John called Ashley my beauty, and yet it's like Traci just radiates it, New topic. Naomi says, who's gonna watch Harrison while his dad takes his nanny out for supper? Naomi, dang. Isn't that the truth? They're gonna have to get another nanny. Claire's gonna be so busy nannying Kyle, she's not gonna have time for Harrison. Especially when the two of them are together. Sharon W. says, I love seeing the family together. Nick, Phyllis, and Summer. They are all still really close, and I would love to see that bond build moving forward. Phyllis and Nick will show support of Summer's feelings by Phyllis asking about Scary Poppins, and Nick also mentioning Jordan. With Nick mentioning Jordan, hopefully we'll see her again soon. And a side note, I loved Phyllis's green dress with the back out, a slit in the front, and holes in the skirt. She can dress sexy, even in a coffee shop. Yeah, that dress was something else. I wonder if Michelle Stafford is still hurting, because we haven't seen her stand up. I don't know what it was, but I did read that she hurt a toe or an ankle or something. So I wonder if that's why we were seeing her sitting. But boy, I really wanted to see the dress. That dress was something else, and that green color, I was immediately like, man, she looks good in green. Green's a great color on her. She looked really good there, and the line about Scary Poppins. I mean, didn't we all laugh at that? I'd never heard that before, never made that connection before. That's really funny, whoever came up with that. And yeah, that scene with Phyllis and Nick and Summer was fun, and I liked Nick. He's always funny, and he comes in just to get croissants for Christian to wake up to in the morning, and he walks in on the two girls, and he just gets the feeling like, maybe I should just turn around and walk in the other direction. And they brought him in, and it was very fun and very comfortable. And I like that Nick's not afraid to challenge Summer, because Phyllis is always the one, she has known better. She's always the one going, Kyle, yeah, Claire, I get it. But then Nick comes in and he says, well, you know, are you maybe overreacting? So I like that dynamic. They are a really cute family, and I think we're setting up a Nick, Phyllis, Sharon triangle for the remainder of 2024, and maybe it'll be a proper one. Well, last week I asked you guys, was Diane right to fire Kyle? 63% of you say yes, Diane was justified. 37% of you said that Diane should have found another way. Marianne V voted yes, saying, I think Diane just got fed up with Kyle's attitude and going behind her back to fix all of her decisions. Kyle agreed to have Diane have his old job. She will now have to do the job without his help or interference. And hopefully Jack is right and she has the qualifications to do this job. I think it was good that Kyle found work elsewhere. You know what, Marianne V, I hadn't thought of it, but it will be really interesting to see if Diane can sink or swim now. So now that she doesn't have Kyle's interference / help, one or the other, however you see it, it'll be interesting to see how well she does. You know, is she suited for the role? Will it turn out that Kyle was right and maybe she was letting some things slip? I don't know. Tina Cole voted, no, Diane was not right to fire Kyle. Kyle was acting out of line and something needed to be done, and maybe the end result would have been firing him, but I think Diane fired him too quickly. Diane tried to call Jack to let him know before, but I don't get why Kyle had to be fired that morning, and why Diane couldn't wait to talk to Jack first, that she's wanting to fire Kyle and get his opinion on if there's another solution before handing Kyle the pink slip. I also think there's a complicated layer because this is a family business and it's not just firing your COO. It's a mother firing her son, and that will not improve their relationship but be another sore spot. Yeah, I think you're probably right too, that Tina Cole, that Diane probably could have tried a little harder to get a hold of Jack and work together and maybe come up with an intermediate plan. Like, okay, this is where we are, this is where we need you to be, and if you don't meet this expectation, if you don't change, then you're gonna get fired. But then that wouldn't have been very dramatic and soapy. Gary simply says, I have no patience with Kyle's rage, and I think it's time to put him back in the tack house. No, the pool house. Sorry, the pool house, yeah. That's where Kyle, he's never lived anywhere but the Abbott house or the pool house. Of course, off screen he lived in another country, but yeah, I think Kyle needs some independence. Back to the pool house. Brent says, I just will not lose my son again, says Diane. But she's kidding herself. If her relationship with her son was so important to her, she would have done the right thing and resign or get demoted. Simple as that. She doesn't need the money, but she's choosing her career ambition over her son's love. Yes, Kyle is a brat, but he's her brat. She's supposed to love him. That's interesting that she's choosing her career ambition over her son. I never thought of it that way. Because Diane, it's like we don't see her doing a whole lot of work. All of this contention just came out of nowhere, and it's all hearsay. Kyle's just saying that she's not doing this or that, or that people are reacting to her in a certain way as being Jack's wife and not a respectable COO or co-CEO or whatever. But we haven't really seen any of that firsthand. Sherrod says just because she fired her insubordinate employee does not mean that she doesn't love her son. Also, you might not have been watching, but when Jack first gave Diane the position, she tried to make him give it to Kyle. She even conspired with Kyle to give him the co-CEO position, but Kyle told her he didn't want it. I think in Kyle's mind, he thought that Diane was going to fail, and then he could have told Jack that he made a mistake not choosing him. But instead, Diane thrived, and then Kyle started backstabbing and trying to sabotage Diane at every turn. Diane told Kyle to stop undermining her for months, but he continued to be the entitled, selfish, know-it-all brat that he is. He is such a brat. He really, truly is such a little brat. And we are seeing it this week in spades. Diane, by the way, throughout all of this, it just cannot be argued against that she just looks so good. Lara says, I admired Diane's fabulous blue faux wrap dress while she was kicking her son to the curb. The perfect dress to wear to my niece's summer wedding, I thought. But oops, it's Armani. $1,295. I love it when actors are wearing high-end, well-made clothing, and Diane sure is a good model. Oh my gosh, Lara, I love knowing that that's Armani. It was a very simple dress. It looked very simple, but very elegant, very well cut. And yeah, apparently it's Armani, so I guess so. But I love knowing that Y&R is still getting high-end clothing. Is that still beneficial for companies to lend their clothes? Is that how it works? I'm assuming it's sort of will lend this to you for wearing, and I guess it benefits the Armani in the long run to see the garment out on the screen, I suppose. I don't know, but I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, another fashion note. Gary says, I thought it was Michael Baldwin that looked good in a blue shirt and sport jacket out of that Jay Gatsby overdressed Esquire lawyer with the fancy shirt and with the starched white collar plus dude tie look. Michael's usual attire is so over the top, both elegant and pimp-like, and you know he doesn't really have anywhere to go in this tiny metropolis that is Genoa City, 1973. Yeah, Michael, I had my eye on him too, because he was definitely looking more casual than usual. And it was a different color, and everything was much lighter. He's usually got some dark suit jacket on, or some dark something or other. But you're right, he does kind of dress pimpish. It is usually over the top. There's something that's got flair about it. Like Christian LeBlanc's like, no, I'm not just gonna be boring here. Give me a ascot or something. Give me a scarf or a silk, the little pocket square thing. Let's make that stand out. Or he always stands out in his formal business attire, but this was a much more casual look for him for 4th of July week. Sharon W. says, Kyle reminds me a lot of Devon. They both want everything to go their way. They expect everyone to agree with them and fall in line with their wishes. And of course, Devon got money from his grandmother. Kyle has money and position from his family, so neither had to work their way up the ladder to be able to survive. The fact that Kyle told Jack he would stay if Jack fired Diane was uncalled for. Maybe we should all wait a while and see how Kyle fares with trying to take care of Harrison out on his own without the 24/7 watchful eye of his parents and Mrs. Martinez. Oh yeah, Mrs. Martinez is probably watching Harrison while Kyle's out having dinner with the nanny. But not anymore. He's going to have to hire some more staff. I wonder how well Victor's paying him. Can he afford a second nanny and a cook? And a housekeeper, obviously, because he's not going to be cleaning. I love your comparison of Kyle and Devon, though. That's really smart and really interesting. Yeah. Daisy says, I wish Jill would sell some of her shares to Devon so that he becomes the majority stakeholder. And Devon could then appoint himself CEO. Jill can still be on the board as the founder of the company's current whatever they're doing. She evolved it into what it is today, but Jill and Devon are the two people who built these companies, and the whining is interfering with moving forward. Devon can actually decide what each person's position should be, then they can decide if they want it or leave it, and then they can all get on with the business at hand. And Devon can also get ready for Tucker's return just in case Tucker's really mad and wants it all. Or maybe even Devon's help. Yeah, these companies, the board, I mean, when did Lily get a board seat? I thought she was just the CEO, Jill's appointee. Like, when did all these people get board seats? And, I mean, I don't even know where Lily stands. I'm not interested in the Chancellor-Winters drama. I cannot help myself. I don't know where Lily stands. I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know. It just seems more like shuffling around on business drama that never really materializes. I think you're right, Daisy. I would rather just have, like, one owner. Get on with it. Get our summer music festival, please. The idea of Omegasphere was interesting because then at least I had some kind of tangible idea of what the companies did. Okay, it's gaming. We can pretend that people are gaming on their laptops and checking out Daniel's newest game. But again, like, aside from Omegasphere, I don't know what Chancellor or Winters does. Winters apparently has music. Where is it? Chancellor to me has just always been like, we push papers. We are a paper pushing company here at Chancellor Industries. So this is so unexciting. I'll tell you what's exciting. Connie says, Adam and Chelsea did what former couples do. They went back to something that is familiar and comfortable, even though it is not good for them in the long run. I know they can move forward, but their partners might not. Should they confess or keep a secret? Great question. Should Adam and Chelsea confess or should they keep the secret? It doesn't matter either way, because either way it's going to come out. I say go ahead and tuck that up under your hat. Okay, probably makes me a bad person, but I would say, whoops, I would probably just go, that didn't happen, la 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 la. But we know that that's not how it's going to work out. Henry says the look on Adam's face after making love to Chelsea was priceless. It was almost a deer in the headlights sort of look. It was almost like he wanted to say, what have we done? He and Chelsea will probably say and feel that way, but I'm sure they will blame much of it on the bourbon. I don't think the sex means that they will get back together. They will probably just realize and accept that it was just that, sex. However, will they be able to hide it from Billy and Sally? Of course not. It's a soap. Well, the thing is, I mean, one of them would have to confess for the secret to come out. It happened behind closed doors. And so now we just have this, like, moral issue sitting there hanging on the horizon. Will they? You know, the only way it comes out is if one of them feels the need to confess. And I don't know to what end that wouldn't really benefit anything or anyone. Kamna says, as much as I hated seeing them hook up, I must admit that Adam and Chelsea were hot. I really want Adam and Sally to stay together, though, Billy and Chelsea, I'm not as invested in. I'm not sure is anybody super invested in Billy and Chelsea? They seem like not as interesting of a couple, but Adam and Sally have worked so hard to get together just to turn around and have this happen. T. Nicole says, so Adam and Chelsea have slept together. And now that we have gone there, as much as I am an Adam and Sally fan, or hopefully a fan of spicy Adam and Sally, I would so much rather see Adam and Chelsea have an affair than a one-time sex session. I know at first they will say it was a mistake and keep the secret, but honestly, let's just see them be hit with temptation again and have it ongoing. Just like Allie said, we haven't had a full-blown affair in a while. I think that's what I want too. I'm bad. We're bad. That is a bad thought. I'm going to slap you on the wrist with a ruler, T. Nicole. It's bad, but I'm with you. Let's just let this be an affair. And oh, Sharon W. saying the thing that I don't know why I didn't think of. Now that Adam and Chelsea have slept together, what is Y&R going to do next if both Sally and Chelsea find out that they're both pregnant? I don't know why that never occurred to me. Is Sally and Chelsea a double pregnancy? Sue W. says, a pregnant Chelsea, who's the daddy story, is what some would surely call a tired wash, rinse, and repeat, but one that I could enjoy. I think that would provide a reasonable, final moving on for what could have been ain't gonna be for Sally and Adam. Fans keep lamenting the why of their, what some call, inexplicable fracture, but I don't know. I'm okay to move on. It's the soapy way. Yeah, you know what salt in the wound would that be? Because Sally miscarried Adam's child, and now if Adam had this affair with Chelsea and Chelsea ends up pregnant over it all, I don't know if I buy it, though, with the pregnancy. I feel like every time somebody sleeps together unexpectedly, we always go, oop, pregnancy, but then it never ends up materializing. Nobody ever gets unexpectedly pregnant anymore, although it happened to Sally. Sally and Adam had the one-time sex, and she got pregnant. Apparently, Adam is very potent, because Sally got pregnant from that one-time goodbye sex with Adam, so you never know. Chelsea could definitely get pregnant from the one-time sex with Adam. I think that's a poll question for the week. It is prediction time, Y&R chatters. Will Chelsea become pregnant? I don't know if it would be Adam's. I don't know if it would be Billy's, but that's the question. Probably Chelsea had to make that phone call to get back to Genoa City as quickly as possible so that she could sleep with Billy real quick just in case. She said, I guess I gotta come home now. You know she's gonna go straight home and sleep with Billy. And you guys, maybe we are going to be entering into a pregnancy for Chelsea for the future. Go to yrchat.com and cast your vote about that. It is prediction time. Will Chelsea become pregnant? Ooh hoo hoo, hee, ha ha ha. Speaking of surprise pregnancies, I am sure that you are all thinking, Allie was sick last week. I think she's pregnant with Nate's baby. Well, Nate and I did have a really wonderful 4th of July together, but no, unfortunately, that is not true. I was just sick. Just straight up, ugh. And it hung on too. I don't know what happened, but I just felt blah. But it does feel good to be back. I'm feeling like 99% better. And happy to be back with you guys in person. Well, that is a Y&R chat. I hope that you have enjoyed it. I think you should go to yrchat.com to leave your comments about this Y&R chat or about the show in general. You can go to genoacitysoap.com if you want to pick up some bonus Y&R chat episodes, or you can do none of the above and just come back next Sunday and we will chat about the week once again. I love you guys, and I hope you have a really good one, and I will see you next Sunday.